CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. Reynolds Coliseum, the site of our game this afternoon in Raleigh, North Carolina, for the 85th all-time meeting between Virginia and NC State, and the Wolfpack undefeated on their home floor so far this season as they welcome in the Cavaliers. It is so great to have you with us for ACC women's basketball on the CW. Tom Wormy, along with Kelly Dale, a member of the 2001 National Championship team at Notre Dame. And Kelly, this NC State team has won 9 of its last 10. Virginia coming off a huge road win at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, there's nothing better than getting that rivalry win, and they will have to use that confidence from that win into today's game because they have not been a top 25 opponent. They're looking to do that today, and they'll need that in Reynolds Coliseum, a place where this team has not lost in 15 tries.
How about Mo Johnson for Virginia? She is 5th in the conference in scoring for the sophomore from Charlottesville.
Yeah, 5th in assists as well. She exploded onto the scene last year as a freshman, and that has carried over into this season. Her leadership is there. She is taking ownership of this team, and she has been dynamic.
So we'll keep an eye on Mo Johnson. We'll also watch Isaiah James for NC State. Best on the team, 17 points per game.
Yeah, this is the energy player for NC State. She's on the midseason Wooden watch list, one of 4 ACC players on that list. Had 6 threes in the game against Pittsburgh on Thursday.
Again, it's the 85th all-time meeting between the programs. NC State has won 4 in a row at home in the series. Women's college basketball on the CW. Back in Raleigh, North Carolina, inside Reynolds Coliseum for our game this afternoon. It's Virginia and NC State, all 18 teams in action on a Sunday in ACC women's basketball. That takes us to a look at today's keys to the game, brought to you by Sky Rizzi.
Lattimore, Paris Clark, and Olivia McGee only had 10 points combined in that last game. They need to have more players like Brianna Hurd need to step up. And the magic number 60. UVA is 11-2, but they get over 60. They're 0-5 under 60. So the numbers tell the story. And then for NC State, they got a rebound and run. 3rd best in the conference in rebounding, and they want to dictate tempo with that incredible backcourt of theirs. And then 3-point production. This is a team that had a season-high 15 threes against Pittsburgh. They got to carry that over to today. And also, this Virginia team is going to play zone. You want to shoot them out of that zone.
Yeah, NC State was 13 of 25 in threes against Pitt. We take a look at today's starting 5, brought to you by Bounty, the quicker picker-upper for Virginia, Latasha Lattimore. Keep an eye on her, number 35 in that lineup. She is the top rebounder on the team, 6th in the conference. And Sanaya Rivers for NC State. Rivers, the senior from Wilmington, North Carolina. She's the top rebounder for the Wolfpack and had 15 points. Also a season-high 7 assists in the win at home earlier this week against Pitt. Ready to go with Virginia in the dark blue. NC State is in the white. Cavaliers come in with a record of 11-7, 3-3 in conference play. They are 2-2 away from John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville. Lattimore drives, and it's an offensive foul.
And I'll tell you what, in this environment, picking up an offensive foul in the first play of the game is huge. Getting this crowd of thousands on their feet. Lattimore takes it strong to the bucket, but a great stop for NC State.
Routinely selling out this building for the women's program. And head coach Wes Moore, they are 21st in the nation, 10-0 at home, 3-0 in conference play at home, with wins against Pitt, Boston College, and Clemson.
After that Final Four run last year, season tickets sold out in May.
Second time to the Final Four for the program, battling on the inside, Trieger.
Trigger's game, just a freshman, but she doesn't play like it. She had a tough game last time on Thursday against Pittsburgh, but consistently before that, she has been playing so big inside. Coach Wes Moore wants her to play with even more attack.
She's a freshman from Stockholm, Sweden. Averages just over 5 points per game. She puts the pack on the board. Clark is cutting and driving, and she lays it off the backboard and in.
Great patience by the UVA offense, getting the look that they wanted. This NC State defense is so good on the perimeter. They're going to make you take some time to get those open looks.
Great pass in there as well by Odessa Noyan, who is also from Sweden. She wears number 8 in blue and orange. Shot clock is at 10 for NC State. Launching a 3. James misses.
Good backside rebound by Johnson, who starts the break.
Keep an eye on number 21. Fast, intelligent, experienced player. Sophomore from Charlottesville, Virginia. Clark driving the lane again, and a soft bounce.
And that's what we talked about, right? Johnson and Lattimore are going to get their points. These other players have to step up. Great look by Clark early.
So that's 4 early points for Clark, 4 early points for Trieger as well.
Love that. Right from the top of the key, gets that angle inside. Trieger seals her off, goes up for the 2.
Only conference loss for NC State this season at Cal, but in that game, Trieger, 19 points, 10 boards, her first career double-double for the freshman. Lattimore stepping back, knocking it down, and it's a 3. Officials were looking at one another. Katie Lukinich, Bruce Morris, Crystal Apolanes. And they confirmed the 3-pointer from Lattimore.
And that's a part of her game that has evolved in her last few seasons. Of course, this is her first year with Virginia, but she is playing at her best.
Transfer from Miami, where she played 2 seasons, 1 year at Texas before that. 86 career games for Lattimore. And the jumper at the other end is good. Rivers.
Yeah, Rivers came into this game needing 21 points for 1,000. So keep your eye on that.
Lattimore tries the other side for a 3, unsuccessfully. Hayes straight away. Side rim.
I'm not surprised that a lot of threes are going up early for this NC State team. Again, remember, just hit 15, and they're playing in a zone, Virginia is, so they're trying to shoot them out of that zone. A miss for UVA, NC State with the ball.
So NC State makes 7.6 threes per game. 8th in the conference. Trieger, 3-ball, Wolfpack.
There is nothing better than that smile afterward. This is a player that Coach Westmore says is the most joyful on this team. He said he loves to be around her.
She's got 7 of the 9 NC State points so far. McGee misses a 3. Rivers hands it off. Jones a little too strong. McGee the board.
I do love seeing Trieger get some points early. She only had 4 against Pitt the other day, but how about the drive by Lattimore? That's exactly what UVA wants to do. They don't want NC State to set up their defense. It's harder to get a shot when you have a set defense in front of you. They want to get the ball and go.
Natasha Lattimore now with 5 points for the senior from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Zoe Brooks down the lane. Once again, too strong.
NC State doing a really good job at penetration inside the teeth of that zone. Best way to get the zone to collapse.
Paris Clark had to bring it back out. Tenacious defending by Rivers and slightly overzealous picking up the foul. Maka Agugwa-Hamilton in her 3rd season. Coach Mox coming off that huge win on the road. They won 7 games in the ACC a season ago. The 3 years prior, they had won 3 total.
Yeah, it was a huge season for them. 4 wins against top 25 opponents. Lattimore just short on that drive.
NC State took it all the way to the Final Four in Cleveland for the 2nd time in school history. Jones on the drive, well defended. Johnson was in the vicinity, and she ends up with the basketball. Mo Johnson had a steam, and she traveled in the process. How about Tilda Trieger so far?
7 points, 3 of 3 from the floor. Not playing like a freshman early.
You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. The statue of the legend NC State head coach in the Final Four in 1998. Tilda Trieger filling it up for the Pack.
She has been phenomenal in this one, playing hard inside, going up strong. That's what her head coach wanted. And then knocking down the three in transition, puts it up with the response. I love it from number 18.
For Trieger, just her 6th made three of the season. You see the season average, hasn't missed a shot. She's already above that. The rest of the team is 1 for 7 from the floor. She's 3 for 3.
Well, that's your best percentage shot, and I think that's NC State is wise to look for her inside there, passing the ball around the top of the key, getting those angles to get the pass inside the Trieger where she can go up. She has got the height advantage inside.
You know Wes Moore would love to see that big smile from number 18. That's a nod to Elisa Canane. Does the big smile by our colleague, Debbie Antonelli, who played right here at NC State. Big smile, 2.0. Kicked away by McGee. NC State basketball on the reset to 20 on the shot clock.
Reset to 20.
Yeah, I mentioned that to Wes Moore when we got to talk this morning, that she reminds me of a young Elisa Canane. In fact, I would say she's probably got a better outside touch than Canane did coming in as a freshman.
Wait a minute, my phone's ringing. It's Elisa Canane. She wants to talk to Kelly Deo.
I'll tell you what, though, there was nobody more exciting to watch inside the paint than Elisa. What a phenomenal player, and she has just made this NC State fan base so proud.
Johnson. Clark. Angling to the rim. Got it to fall as she hit the net.
Virginia going to change up their defenses, so good job by Brooks to recognize the man-to-man and go all the way to the rim.
6 points now for Paris Clark in the first quarter. Rivers. She kind of glanced over at the Virginia bench, if I'm not mistaken, Kelly.
Oh, you're not mistaken.
Okay.
I watched it happen.
And we're tied at 11 by it.
Yeah, she's so smooth. I mean, she gets up, elevates, high release on her shot, and takes a glance over at UVA bench.
All in the spirit of competition. Johnson directs some traffic, lets it fly. Off the mark. Brooks went behind the back, now distributes. It was a tough shot falling down there from Hayes.
Yeah, great pass, though, by Brooks to get her in transition. Hayes just not able to finish off the glass.
Maura Johnson with the basketball now, leading scorer in 13 of 18 games this season for Virginia, turning it over. Brooks racing to the rim and lays it in with the right.
Jumping passing lanes. That's what this backcourt likes to do. One of the best backcourts in the ACC.
Zoe Brooks is into the box score for NC State, a sophomore from Plainfield, New Jersey. Lattimore off the feed, lays it in.
When they get her the quick pass and she goes right to the bucket, she's almost unstoppable. Her first step is so fast.
She's got 7 points and averages close to a double-double. 13 points and just over 9 rebounds per game. She's 6th in the conference in rebounding as well, 35 in blue.
Can we talk about the post battle? I'm loving it. Trieger and Lattimore going after it.
Rivers deep into the shot clock. That's a three-pointer. Lattimore comes away with it. We're inside of 2 minutes to go in our first quarter.
Lattimore averages 9 rebounds a game, just short of averaging a double-double this season for Virginia.
Johnson will drive the other end. Off the backboard and wide of the target. Brooks did not hesitate, and she rips the ropes for the Pack.
Well, that's going to help get UVA out of the zone potentially. I think a few more have to fall before Coach Mox makes that adjustment.
5 points now for Brooks after the three, her 12th made of the season. She shoots 33% from beyond the arc. Johnson pounds it into the floor. A little bit of frustration from Johnson so far this first quarter. Rivers left the ball behind, and then a foul was called in the aftermath against Rivers. That's her second personal in the first quarter. Wes Fast forward his 12th season, 8 times to the NCAA tournament, 3 Sweet 16s, and Final Four a season ago. Second most wins, Kelly, among active Division I coaches. Behind that guy up in Storrs, Connecticut. Who, by the way, he beat last year, early on in the season, and West says, obviously that was a huge turning point in the season, and Coach Auriemma told him, you have something special with this group that last year. Clark on the drive.
Yeah, unranked coming into the season, and then they go all the way to a Final Four. So he is one of not a large amount of coaches that got to enjoy that Final Four experience with his team.
Miss on the 3 from Jones. Final 15 seconds of the first quarter. Just a 1-point lead for NC State. Johnson held scoreless in this first quarter. Clark needs to shoot it. The miss at the horn from Clark, and after 1 quarter, NC State with a 1-point lead. Back and forth, up and down the court here in Raleigh, North Carolina. ACC women's basketball on the CW. You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, brought to you by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. That is our friend and colleague Debbie Antonelli being honored on Thursday in the game against Pitt. Her banner to the Raptors in recognition of her contributions, not only to NC State basketball, but to the entire world of women's basketball. And her playing career here at NC State, playing for Kay Yao. That banner will be in the Raptors here at Reynolds Coliseum for years to come. And Debbie's just so generous with her time and her counsel, and I certainly wouldn't be sitting here today without Debbie Antonelli.
Yeah, hard not to get emotional watching her emotions to receive this incredible honor at her alma mater. Yeah, Tom, like you, I have had many conversations across the table from her, and she was such a vital person for me to be able to go to and ask, hey, what do I do for this? Or what do you do for this? Teach me, to help me get better. And she was always so willing to do that, and has been a pioneer, especially in the broadcasting side of things.
From such a wonderful family. McGee beats the clock. That's her first points of the afternoon with a 3-pointer. Virginia's taking the lead by 2. Virginia, most of their points in the first quarter came from the paint. At 12 with the 15 points in the paint for the Cavs. NC State, the kick out. Easy rebound for Johnson off of the miss from Jones.
NC State not following a lot of their shots. UVA is easy to get those defensive rebounds. I'm surprised by that, especially with how rebounding is such an essential part of what Westbrook wants to do.
We did not have a free throw in the first quarter as well. That's right, Coach Mox. It's hard to believe that we had such continuous action between the teams. 5 ties, 4 lead changes in that first quarter. Leading scorer for Virginia, Mo Johnson, still has not scored yet. Clark leads the way with 8 points. Lattimore has 7. You know Johnson's going to get going eventually, although that's a high degree of difficulty. She made it look easy.
That's a tough assignment to have to guard number 21 in blue, because she makes it really difficult, because you don't know if she's going to pass at the last second, go up for her shot. She's so crafty with the ball. 18.1
points per game. That's 5th in the ACC. Also contributes with just over 5 rebounds per game. It's taken away. And a foul is called as Hurd fell to the floor.
Brianna Hurd is such a special freshman. Comes off the bench for this UVA team. Just a freshman, as we said, but she has been so critical in some of these wins that UVA has been able to get. She's a tall guard, can shoot outside, goes strong inside. She's a difficult matchup.
Virginia's on a 7-0 run back to the end of the first quarter. Lattimore working in the paint. Turns. Second effort. That came up short as well. Tried to grab it, couldn't get it back. Taken by Maddie Cox. Up ahead running. Brooks had it knocked away at the last second by Clark. And out of bounds, NC State basketball.
Yeah, just when you think NC State is going to start going on a run, this UVA defense does something like this. This time, Paris Clark with the block. Earlier, it was Paris Clark with the steal as Sanaya Rivers was going in transition. So they're doing an excellent job of stopping the run.
James almost lost it. That three is too strong. Virginia able to keep it alive as Clark was on the floor and handed it off to Johnson. McGee. Miss on the three, and then a collision. Hurd got in the way of Zoe Brooks. First on Hurd.
I don't mind that at all, though. Going after the offensive glass, trying to get an extra possession. I love that freshman.
Devin Quigley is coming to the game for NC State. She wears 0. This from Mallory Collier is in there, 42 in white. Quigley, couple of feet behind the line, knock it down, a 3-ball.
Devin Quigley, one of the fewer people coming off the bench for this NC State team that plays their starters the majority of the game, but Quigley can knock down some shots in a hurry.
10th made 3 of the season for Quigley, the freshman from Manchester, New Jersey. McGee looking for a safety valve. It's intercepted. 4th turnover of the game by Virginia. Hayes gives it off. Brooks, side rim. Hayes with the rebound to preserve the possession. James had it knocked away by Johnson. Foul was called.
Great fake, getting the zone to shift. Look at that, the entire zone shifts. She's wide open. Quigley with space and time knocks it down.
Quigley makes a 3. She's almost on her average for points in a game this season. 3.4 points per game. The 3-pointer from Quigley. James is at the free throw line. First free throws of our game. Next week, exciting CW courtside Saturday action, doubleheader. SMU travels here to Raleigh to take on NC State, and then BC, North Carolina. CW courtside Saturday next week, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on the CW. We had a heck of a doubleheader yesterday. Both games went right down to the wire. Clemson with a win on the road at Pitt in overtime, and then Stanford beat North Carolina with a last-second bucket. McGee out of the corner. She's got 6. Virginia leading right now, the number 21 team in the nation, which has not lost on its home floor. 10-0, 3-0 in conference play. Collier, good fake. Oh, it rattled out somehow.
Even she thought that was in, started to turn and go back to the other end. Is McGee can hit another? Not yet.
Goodness. It's like a ping pong ball in a lottery drawing. Just bounced right out of there. Unkind, the iron here. Okay, out court. Lattimore switches shoulders and lays it in.
All right, a moment ago, Lattimore went up and took the ball off the rim on a rebound. That time, got a difficult pass and snatched it down. Her hands might be the best part of her game.
Inside, this time it'll fall for Collier. First 2 of the game for number 42.
Yeah, they've done that a couple times now. Entry pass from the top of the key. That has been good because there's no help in that zone.
So Lattimore leads the way now with 9 points, coming off 24 points at Virginia Tech. That was a season high and game high in the win. She spun right into the double. James on the run against Johnson. Around the defender for 2. Josiah James. Timeout on the court. Virginia with a 1-point lead on the road in Raleigh. Here on the CW, ACC Women's Basketball. Let's take a look at today's game summary presented by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. points in the game.
Yeah, she came to play today. 4 of 5 from the field right now. Getting inside the paint. UVA, by the way, 16 of their points are inside the paint. Penetration has been excellent. All the way to the rim, finishing through contact. And then how about the defense? Coming down, getting the block, and getting a high five from her teammate.
So all 8 points for Clark coming in the first quarter. She's got the basketball now, trying to shed the defender. Fights her way into the lane. And a foul is called.
Zoe Brooks just a brick wall on that defensive side. She picks up the foul, though.
First on Brooks. Virginia had that win on Thursday, Kelly, at Virginia Tech, 73-65. They shot 44% as a team, out-rebounded Virginia Tech 41-31. A big difference in that game.
Yeah, they took over in that third quarter. It was tied at halftime, and then UVA just dominated. And another 2 by Paris Clark inside the paint.
Paris Clark has 2 points in this quarter to go with 8 in the first now. Brooks, James, ball fakes and 2 defenders, one direction, she went the other to the rim.
Well, I'm glad James scored on that because I thought they missed Trieger on that same diagonal pass. She had sealed her defender behind her. It would have been an easy 2, but James makes it look pretty instead.
5 points for Isaiah James. She led the way with 22 points to win Thursday against Pitt. She made 6 3-pointers, the season high for makes for Isaiah James, the senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Hurd's got it.
That's her first attempt of the day. 1 for 1.
Shooting 25% from three-point real estate for Hurd. That's her 15th 3 of the year. Trieger, her pass was deflected. 2 players have hands on it.
But again, Paris Clark inside on the defensive end. Can foresee that ball kicking out right from the high post. Anticipates, gets her hands on it, now Virginia ball.
Virginia with the 4-point lead as we play late in the second quarter. Virginia's made 3 threes in the second quarter. They made just 1 of 6 in the first quarter. Inside, Latimore, offensive foul.
Wow, they're going to say she hooked Trieger. I love that high-low look off the horn set. Gets the ball inside. Yeah, great call by the official. I missed it from my angle. Saves a 2. NC State does, and they will have an opportunity to shorten this lead by UVA.
Official Bruce Morris was right on top of it. Double team close to midcourt. Brooks dribbles away from it. Flings it cross court. James had it deflected, got it back. And now NC State loses it to Johnson.
Oh, that's going on the highlight reel. That entire defensive series right there. So many tips after the double team.
Another foul against the Cavaliers. Goyon picks up the foul, her first.
I didn't see that one either. My eyes weren't in that general area, but clearly the officials looking inside the paint, making those calls.
Trieger, great pass inside from James.
They were working on this in shoot-around today as they swing a shooter to the corner. That's where the defense has to be concerned, and Mo Johnson, nobody picks her up. In transition, knocks it down from the three-point line.
Johnson, who leads the team in three-pointers, 41% from deep. James the other way. NC State has made its last 5 field goal attempts.
They're finding the spots inside that zone to get those looks.
Foul was against Clark on the drive.
These fans were
job of getting themselves in position to get that ball back. And now let's see if NC State can capitalize.
So Clark goes to the bench with 10, only player in double digits in the first half for either team. Krieger has 9. Kick out to Brooks. Casey Valenti-Paya picks up the foul. Graduate student from Melbourne, Australia, her first. Played at Long Beach and Buffalo. So Hayes is at the free throw line.
AJ saying screen and steal. That's the time to screen.
Next Sunday on CW Women's Hoops, conference upstart Louisville heads to Charlottesville to take on upset-minded Virginia. Louisville, Virginia, next Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific only on the CW. So it's now a 1-point game. Clark back into the lineup for Virginia. A minute and change to go in the first half. Johnson. Hurd puts it on the floor. Ran into Krieger. NC State trying to save it on the baseline. They couldn't do it. It'll stay with Virginia. 15 seconds on the shot clock. 1:05 on the game clock. Overall, this series very close. It's a 43-41 lead for NC State in the previous 84 meetings. NC State has won 2 in a row in the series, and 8 of the last 10. Johnson has something to say about it.
Yeah, rejects the screen. Her defender shades her that way, so she takes the lane to the bucket.
7 points in the first half for Johnson. Blocked underneath. Noyon is near it. About a 10-second difference, game and shot here in the second quarter. Clark around the edge, over Krieger, bounces off. Brooks will wait for reinforcements.
Yeah, good transition defense there for Virginia. That was something Coach Mox talked about.
Down by 3, final 10 seconds for NC State. Tough turnaround from James. What a bounce! Isaiah James, 9 points in the first half, and a very kind bounce here at Reynolds Coliseum.
I didn't think there was any way that they were going to get a good look, but you know what? Isaiah James makes hard looks look easy and knocked that one in from the free throw line.
All of her points coming in the second quarter. And that cuts the Virginia lead to 35-34 at halftime. You want to stay tuned for today's halftime show. It's presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. We'll take a timeout from Raleigh. We'll go around the ACC. We'll have first half analysis and stats. And there's a lot to talk about. Up and down the court, fast-paced action, and a 1-point game between NC State and Virginia, which goes to the locker room with a 1-point lead. Clark leads the way with 10 points for the Cavaliers on the CW. Welcome to ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. Halftime of Virginia and NC State here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's go all around the ACC, presented by News Nation, the only cable news network that respects all Americans. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish undefeated in ACC play at 6-0. They'll host SMU tonight. They are 15-2 overall and number 3 in the nation. Adley Sentnor is the United States Soccer Young Female Player of the Year. She played at North Carolina and last year was the #1 pick in the NWSL draft of the Utah Royals. And later today, Liz Kitley, her jersey will be retired in Blacksburg at Castle Coliseum. She is the all-time leading scorer and rebounder here. For the Virginia Tech Hokies, Kitley led the program to the 2023 Final Four. And again, they'll host Louisville later today when they will retire the jersey of Liz Kitley. And we'll have more on ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax after this. You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is Taxes. Welcome back to ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Kelly Deo were one of 9 games on the slate today, all teams in action.
18 teams in this ACC, and wow, Boston College just dominating Syracuse. And how about Duke over Stanford right now in that fourth quarter? Also have my eye on that rivalry game, Miami and Florida State, 10-point game right now at half.
So for Duke, trying to go to 6-1 in conference play, and Notre Dame, the number 3 team in the nation, trying to stay undefeated and go to 7-0 in conference play. We'll have more on ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by TurboTax after this. Welcome back to ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. There's a 1-point lead for Virginia. They're trying to win here in Raleigh for the first time since 2018. We're courtside, Tom and Kelly, and that first half was so close, Kelly, that the largest lead that either team had was 5 points.
It was so much fun to watch both these teams play, because honestly, I thought NC State playing at home in front of this crowd was just going to go off. But UVA has done a good job in that zone, and I think that they have done everything they've needed to do to keep this close.
So Mo Johnson took a little bit of time to heat up, but she got involved in that second quarter.
Yeah, she certainly did. And, you know, she was 1 for 5, I think, in the first quarter, and then just got going, got to the rim, finished, found people in transition.
So Johnson with 7 points in that first half. For NC State, Isaiah James, she had 9 points, tied for the team lead to Trieger.
Yeah, she got that shot at the end of the half. You're going to see it right here with the bucket. But I love the pass just a moment ago, because I think Trieger could be an outstanding addition in this second half. They got to find her early in this one.
Here are the Intuit TurboTax stats from the first half, Kelly.
How about no free throws for Virginia? I imagine that Coach Mox said, hey, you know what? Go up strong, make them foul you, get to the free throw line. 7 turnovers, don't love that. But then points in the paint too, not on this one right now, but 20 for UVA. They're having a field day inside. 5
made threes for Virginia, including 2 from McGee. And this has been ACC Women's Hoops Halftime, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is Taxes. You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. Moments away from cranking up the third quarter with Virginia leading 35-34. They are 8-2 so far this season with a halftime lead. It is slim. Isaiah James with that bucket late in the second quarter to bring Westmore's team to within 1 as we start the second half.
You know, looking at the stats also, UVA just 1 offensive rebound in that half, no second chance points, only 3 for NC State. So it's not like either team is really attacking the offensive glass, which is curious for me. I feel especially like, because this defense is so tough, you want to get through and get some opportunities on the second chance, but neither team needing that, I guess, right now. I wonder, though, if that'll change in this half. NC
State just 3 of 11 on 3-point tries in that first half. James thought about the 3. Rivers dropped it off. 3 out of the corner. Long angular rebound taken by McGee. After the miss by Madison Hayes. How about in the second quarter for Virginia? As a team, it shot 61% in that second quarter. Still the lead, just 1 at halftime. Mo Johnson dribbles to space and hits the mid-range.
As we said, she was a little quiet in that first quarter, but she has been outstanding ever since, finding her own shots, going 1-on-1 against the defense.
Brooks, a runner. Too strong. Hayes Breeze might have been last to touch it on the baseline. It's Virginia basketball. Johnson is now up to 9 points in the game after that most recent bucket. She is 5th in the conference in scoring, just over 18 points per game to lead the team. 16 points for Johnson on the road Thursday in the win at Virginia Tech. Looking for the assist this time, deflected and taken by Brooks. It's 8 turnovers in the game for Virginia. Rivers. Lattimore over the top of the board.
UVA and a man-to-man. I think NC State is taking a few minutes to figure that out. Olivia McGee just misses in transition.
She has made a couple of threes in the game, but not this time. Entry, Trieger, a lot of mustard on it, and Lattimore came away with it. Johnson has the last 7 points for Virginia.
That's what a leader does, don't they? They come in, they know their team needs buckets, and they go get it.
Deflected off the pass by Nguyen, and a 9th turnover now for Virginia. James trying to convert at the other end. Lattimore just held her ground.
Yeah, NC State needed that bucket, especially after the unforced errors by UVA. And how about Johnson? You kidding me? Nobody stops her in transition, goes all the way to the rim.
She's now got 11, Kelly. That is 38 straight games in double digits for Kamara Mo Johnson.
I just love her poise.
Double figures now in all 19 games this season for Virginia. Consistent and reliable. Shot clock deep for Trieger. Brooks needs to get rid of it right into McGee. And the foul is called with 0.6 on the shot clock.
Wow, yeah. McGee knows that was not the foul to draw right there. Trying to go out, defend the 3, and a really heads-up play by Brooks to put the ball on the floor. Gets the foul. And I am surprised that that was a shooting foul. I thought that was on the ground, but officials would say otherwise.
So it'll be 3 shots for Brooks. This Tuesday on NXT, the champions are in the house. Obafemi takes on his first challenger as the new NXT champion. And we hear from Julia for the first time as the women's NXT champion. Catch all the action on WWE NXT Tuesday, 8/7 Central, right here on the CW. Eight points now for Brooks. 2-point Virginia lead in the 3rd quarter.
The crowd starting to make their presence known. NC State looking for a stop, and they get it.
Bird's pass ends up out of bounds and back to the Wolfpack.
Yeah, I think the ball needs to go right there. I'm glad the camera went right in on 18 because they're playing man-to-man right now against Brianna Hurd inside. That's a mismatch.
Chance to take the lead for Brooks for 3. Rivers was looking for the board for the pack. Out of bounds and to Virginia. Sanaya Rivers, the senior from Wilmington, New York. 111 career games. Players under the current collegiate climate just racking up the games. Sometimes at various schools.
Right.
Which is totally fine. That pass by Johnson in a congested area goes out of bounds and stays with Virginia.
Oh, I love the look. Lattimore just couldn't hold on to it. Thankfully, UVA, though, gets the ball back with just 3.7 seconds on the shot clock.
Hurd tries to force it up. She was well defended by Madison Hayes.
I would have loved to see her just with the tip pass go right up to shoot that shot instead of wait for the defense.
NC State has not made a shot in the 3rd quarter until now. Zoe Brooks, basket and foul.
And for NC State, it starts on the defensive end. Hayes with a solid defensive effort gets the ball, and then Zoe Brooks into the paint, through contact, puts it in.
%68% from the stripe on the season for Brooks. Old school three-point play. And now it's a one-point lead for NC State. Brooks to double digits with 11.
Brooks is all business. Look at that face. Doesn't change at all.
Johnson driving. Sends it into the front row. Another turnover for Virginia in the quarter.
And those turnovers are just starting to rack up 4 already in this half.
Zoe Brooks bringing it up for NC State. She's got all 6 points for the Pack so far in the third. To try that pass underneath to Hayes. Able to recover. Kick to Brooks. Back to Hayes. And it drops.
Needs a timeout. Zoe Brooks. Incredible pass. NC State. Look at this. Baseline. Touch pass. 8-0 run for NC State.
You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. We're on the NC State campus, Raleigh, North Carolina, third quarter. It's a 42-39 lead for the number 21 team in the nation. Next weekend, it's 2 days of fantastic basketball action. The men get us started with the CW courtside Saturday doubleheader at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. SMU takes on NC State, followed by Boston College, North Carolina. Then on Sunday at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, the women take the court as Louisville faces Virginia and Coach Mox. It's an outstanding weekend of basketball action, and it's only on the CW. John Paul Jones Arena, the destination next weekend for ACC women's basketball on the CW. So glad that you're with us. Tom Wormy along with Kelly Deo, a national champ back in 2001 with Notre Dame. Kelly, we've had fast and furious action so far.
It's been what we expected. We knew this crowd would be into it. We knew that UVA would not go quietly.
Lattimore on the entry. Sends it back out Johnson. Shot clock is down to 5 for Paris Clark. Willian misses the shot. James runs it up. NC State working on a streak of 15 straight home wins. Hayes. That was for 3.
Right now in this game, 38 missed shots. I was going to say make that 39, although that's a bucket. Only 4 offensive rebounds. With all those missed shots, 4 offensive rebounds combined for both teams, and just 3 second chance points. Neither team wanting to do anything about the offensive glass in this one.
Olivia McGee now has 3 made three-pointers in the game for Virginia, trying to convert on the turnover. McGee's got the ball for the moment. Virginia made 4 three-pointers in the second quarter. And now McGee gets him going with a 3 here in the third. Johnson straight away, rattles it home, and it is a 3-ball.
How about that back-to-back triples? That was a well-timed timeout, media timeout for UVA, who needed to get resorted and back in their scoring ways.
14 points for Johnson. Brooks has a 3 of her own, and she's up to 14 points in the game.
This is where UVA has got to start figuring out how to take over games. In the Duke game, they were winning almost the entire game, but couldn't finish it. And NC State comes in with a huge stop, picking up a charge. 3-pointers looking good for both teams. Mo Johnson on one end, and then NC State for the kick out. Zoe Brooks with her own.
You're Hoops on the CW, presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. And we're all aware of the dangerous wildfires in California and the devastation they're causing. Here's how you can help people affected by those fires. Please go to redcross.org or text the word CA wildfire to 90999. We are tied for the 9th time in the game at 45. 3:36 to go in our third quarter. ACC women's basketball on the CW. Also had 7 lead changes, as Brooks and Johnson are going head-to-head. Brooks got it back from Hayes. He has 9 of 11 points for NC State here in this quarter.
UVA back to the zone. Paris Clark already with the tip. This is what they've been doing. It is not a lackadaisical zone. They love getting up in the passing lane.
Rivers, shot clock winding down, came up short. Johnson on the run. She has 12 of the last 15 Virginia points. Poked away Rivers. Lattimore trying to get back. Take an angle. Can't get there. Rivers lays it in.
Rivers, one of the best two-way players in this league, just taps the ball away, then takes it herself.
6 points for Rivers. NC State by 2. Virginia 7 of 14 from beyond the arc in the game. Came in 15th in the league in three-point shooting. Much closer to the rim for Johnson. Doesn't get the desired result. James on the try.
High degree of difficulty on that one. Falling away, gets it off the glass and in.
11 points for James. 27 straight games in double digits. Josiah James, and the largest lead of the game for NC State. Clark dropped it off. Lattimore inside. Didn't get the bounce. Will go to the free throw line.
NC State starting off on the defensive end. Sanaya Rivers tips the ball away, then goes up strong against Lattimore. I think she thought she was going to get blocked. And then inside, look at that. Falling away off the block, and then gets it off the glass and in.
15-6 run by NC State. Lattimore at the free throw line.
It feels like what UVA did to Virginia Tech in the third quarter of that game on Thursday. Tied 35-35 going into the break. And then UVA just went off. UVA now needs to figure out how to get stops. You got to communicate in that zone and then score on the other end.
11 points now for Lattimore. 13th time this season she's got to double digits in scoring. Rivers off the fingertips of Clark. Cavaliers have it in Johnson.
And I think they would take that. Well outside the three-point line, a quick shot by Rivers and defend it.
Virginia's won 3 of its last 4 games at Virginia Tech and against Clemson and Wake. And they've got the jumper from Johnson.
I thought McGee got away with a travel on that one, but how about the pass? Are you kidding me? The vision of Zoe Brooks to see James on the run. Unbelievable.
13 points, Isaiah James. 2-point lead for the Pack.
Oh, Juicy Brooks coming to try to pick her pocket.
Johnson shakes and shovels to McGee, deflected by Brooks, kept alive by Clark. Shot clock's at 3. Lattimore got the shot away and knocks down a 3-ball.
That's a huge bucket right there, because it looked like NC State was going to continue their momentum on the defensive end, but a 3 by UVA stopped it.
Second 3 for Lattimore. She's got 14 points. Madison Hayes, money from long distance. She's got 7.
That happened earlier in the third quarter. UVA knocked down a few triples, and then NC State put an end to it with their own.
Final 20 seconds of the third quarter. Rivers poked it away. Johnson dives to the floor. Rivers has it. One last chance. Gives it to Hayes. Shot never got up on the rim. Noyan defending. 54-52, a two-point lead for NC State. After 3, Brooks leads the way with 14 points. James with 13. Let's go to the 4th in Raleigh on the CW ACC Women's Hoops. You're watching ACC Women's Hoops on the CW, brought to you by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Back in Raleigh, before we start the 4th, let's take a look at today's key play, brought to you by Hilton Garden Inn. Hilton for the stay.
Just when NC State thought they were making a run, UVA gets possession, kicks it to Lattimore for the 3. This was huge because in this gym, all NC State needs is the momentum and the push behind them. But that 3 shut the door on a run that NC State was trying to make. Now Virginia within 2 to start this 4th quarter.
Virginia as a team has made 8 3-pointers. That is above their season average per game of 7.1, 9th in the conference. And those shots have been enormous for Virginia because no team has had a lead larger than 5 all game, Kelly, as we get a foul against NC State. Second on Collier. We've had 10 ties, 10 lead changes.
This is ACC basketball. I love it. Doesn't matter what numbers are ahead of your team's name. 21, oh well. This is going to be a fight to the finish.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Harris Clark dropped it off. Noyan lays it in. First 2 of the game.
Yeah, that's a big play. I like the patience within the offense, not trying to get a quick shot.
So Odessa Noyan from Sweden has tied us. That's the 11th tie of the game. That's up for grabs, and Clark has it for Virginia.
By the way, Noyan, we didn't really get to comment on it, but she had to stop at the end of the 3rd quarter as NC State was trying to go up for those last 2 points. She was standing firm, hands right up. I did not think it was a foul. The rest of this crowd certainly did, but it was a big stop.
Virginia's last win here in Raleigh, January of 2018. They won it by 10, 73-63. Shot clock dwindling. Lattimore, another 3.
Again, the patience on offense. I wonder if Coach Mox just addressed this in the huddle because both times on 2 possessions, they have waited until deep in the shot clock to get their look.
17 points for Lattimore after 24 points and a game high in the win on the road at Virginia Tech. James put a little action on that one on the heel and it falls in. 16 points.
So now the defense has to get their heads up, right? You got to defend well outside the 3-point line in the zone.
6 of 17 on 3s in the game for NC State. Clark hits a roadblock defending from Rivers. We go inside of 8 minutes to go in regulation, and a foul was called.
And that is the right play, because that is a quickness differential right there. Collier defending Lattimore, not going to happen. Put the ball on the floor, 1 step. Collier puts her hands on her, foul.
Virginia had 20 points in the paint in the first half and just 2 in that 3rd quarter for the Cavaliers. Well, they have made their share of 3s in this game. They've connected 9 times on 3s. Johnson steps around the defender. Trieger pulls it down.
Oh, I love the look because it looks like McGee's coming off the double screen up top. And instead, Johnson goes in, but Zoe Brooks misses, and Trieger's second attempt also misses. UVA needs to capitalize.
The bucket to take the lead. Noyan thinking about 3. Side rim, it'll bounce into the front row.
Put in some good minutes here for this UVA team. Noyan was out for a full month with pneumonia, and Coach Mox said she's still not where she was when she left. She said she was playing her best basketball early in the season.
Trying to defend Hayes. defended it well. Hayes got it back. Spins to the rack, and it drops off the edge of the rim. Foul call, Noyan, her second.
Odessa Noyan was in position. I think I agree with you on that one, Tom. But then going after the offensive rebound, got her back in position to pick up the foul.
Looking for a cable news network which respects all Americans? Then you have a new home with News Nation. See why News Nation is America's most trusted cable news network. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com. 4 for 4 from the line. And 9 points. Madison Hayes, graduate student from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
He's also has 7 boards, by the way, to go along with that. The only one more than that is Lattimore with 8.
Hayes is the second leading rebounder for NC State this season. That's a tough pass. All the way to Lattimore. Driving on Trieger, and it bounces off the front rim, and she'll go to the free throw line. First on Trieger.
I don't know how in the world Lattimore got her hands on that pass. It was not intended for her, but a fortuitous bounce gets her the ball, and now an opportunity at the line, which UVA has not been to very often in this game.
Her last trip to the line was the first time for Virginia to get to the free throw line, and now she's 3 for 3 from the stripe.
And you know, Tom, I'm not surprised, actually, because NC State leads the league in fewest fouls, so they defend without fouling, and that is to their credit.
Second free throw ties us at 59, and she now has 19 points, way above her season average of 13, after scoring 24 points on Thursday in the win against the Hokies. Shot by James has a little too much on it. Clark brings it up. Knocked away Brooks. She's got a running mate in James. Hayes joins the play, lays it in, and was fouled.
I want to play in this crowd. I'll tell you what, I want this crowd behind me, because look at this. Noyan in position, too much body though. And how about the response? Getting the crowd on their feet. This is 15 straight wins for NC State, dating back to last year at home. 10 this year alone.
12 points from Madison Hayes with the hustle to join the play, make the shot, three-point play, and a three-point lead. Johnson wants to tie us, and she does.
Unbelievable. I'm actually surprised you go under any screen that Mo Johnson takes, because that girl can shoot it in your eye, and then Hayes turns it over. Wow. That would quiet the crowd.
Just the 7th turnover of the game for NC State.
Yeah, they have been so good at protecting the ball, especially in the game with this kind of pace.
Our 14th tie of the game. 6-minute mark, 4th quarter. Johnson wants another one. Off target. Hurd off the glass, calculating the angle.
Only the 2nd offensive board for UVA and their first second chance points. Great time to pick it up, Brianna Hurd.
Hurd's got 5 points. 2-point lead, Virginia. How long will it last? Not very long, thanks to James.
I love this game. This is awesome.
Zaya James has 18 points. Lattimore. Rivers has the rebound. James from the corner. Batted around. Hayes saved it to Brooks. Brooks fires away. Virginia basketball. We'll take a breather with just under 5 minutes to go in regulation. We are all tied in Raleigh. 64 all.
Next Sunday, it's CW Women's Hoops. Louisville takes its balanced attack on the road to Virginia to face sophomore sensation Kamora Johnson.
You haven't seen her hoop. You need to.
CW Women's Hoops. Next Sunday live at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific.
Let's take a look at today's game summary presented by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
Latasha Lattimore came into this game averaging almost a double-double. She's almost got it already in this one. 19 points, 8 rebounds. She is 3 of 5 from the three-point line. And then, Isaiah James, there is no surprise as to why we highlighted her early in this one. 18 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, doing everything for her team.
She's made one of the 6 three-pointers for NC State. 10 made threes for the Virginia Cavaliers, and that includes 3 from Lattimore and McGee. Also, Mo Johnson has made 3 three-pointers. Johnson trying to drive into the corner. Hurd might have been stepping on that sideline. 16 turnovers in the game for Virginia.
Virginia picking a great day to shoot a high percentage. 54% from the field, 50% from the three-point line, and perfect from the free throw line.
Of course, they've only been 4 times, and all of those in the second half, and all of those Lattimore. Inside, Trieger gets a second chance, knocked away. How about a third chance? Hayes grabs it. They work the perimeter. Trieger. Johnson has it.
Trieger hasn't scored since the first quarter. She was 4 of 4 in that quarter. Had an outstanding beginning, but hasn't scored since.
9 points in a traveling violation. Sends it back to the pack.
And an unforced error for UVA. You know, when that happens, when you're in this tight kind of game, you have to let it go and just know, hey, you know what? I'm going to get it back on defense, and we're going to come back and score.
NC State shooting in this quarter just 3 of 14. They do have 16 points off of 17 Virginia turnovers. Shot clock at 10 for the Pack and James. Brooks driving, lost the handle, a tie-up. And the arrow favors NC State with 4.7 seconds left on the clock to shoot.
Yeah, that was on McGee. The back tip took the ball out of Brooks's hands, and then the tie-up.
43% shooting in the game for NC State. It's actually right around their season average of 44%, 10th in the conference. Rivers, James. Trieger got it. Brooks came away with it. Rivers, series of moves. Trieger grabbed it. How many chances will the Pack get? James, hesitation, fall away, not enough touch. Finally, they drop it in with Madison Hayes, and she was fouled.
If you are still sitting in Reynolds Coliseum right now, you are not watching the same game I am. How many offensive boards did NC State just get? And then finally, the finish. Wow. The fall away, another offensive rebound. Unbelievable. Hayes, and then makes it a three-point play. Virginia, what you got?
15 points for Hayes. 67-64, 3.5 minutes to go. How about a 3? Not this time for Clark. Despite the miss, the Cavaliers have made 10 threes in the game. Brooks weaving her way. Trieger had it knocked away at the last second. Here comes Clark on the gallop. All the way to the rim for Clark, and it falls.
Wow. Paris Clark, another block. UVA, third in the conference in blocks. Ridgewood.
12 points for Clark, the junior from the Bronx, New York. NC State's largest lead in the game has been 4. Word got to it. Hayes got tangled up with Clark. Trigger picked up the foul.
Oh, I thought this was an easy 2, right? From 6'6" inside, but Paris Clark says no, gets the ball back and then goes around probably 3 defenders on her way into the rim. What a play.
What a game.
Understatement. Wow.
So they changed one of the fouls for Virginia. It's been given to Lattimore, so she now has 4 personal fouls. She's still on the floor, number 35 in blue and orange. Leading the way with 19 points, along with her teammate Mo Johnson. They both have 19 and a miss from McGee. NC State by 1. We've got 2 minutes to go in regulation. Crunch time inside Reynolds Coliseum. Hayes, kick it out. James. One-handed rebound attempt by Lattimore and a foul called. Trigger is going to pick up her 3rd.
Remember, I said it early in the half. I was so impressed with the way that Lattimore just goes and grabs the ball. Got inside position on Trigger. Trigger still trying to go after it, of course. Gets the foul instead, and now Lattimore with a chance to take the lead if she can make these 2.
She's the only one who's attempted free throws in the game for Virginia. She's made all 4 of her attempts. The hit series All-American returns to the CW for its 7th season. Same heart, same dream, new rivalry. All-American season premiere Monday, February 5th, 8/7 Central, right here on the CW. 6 for 6.
Oh my gosh.
And a 1-point lead now for Virginia.
Ice in her veins in front of this crowd. Are you kidding me? That's huge.
21 points now for Lattimore. She's hit double digits in scoring 10 of the last 11 games. She leads the way in scoring in this one for the Cavaliers. Shot clock at 8. James, the lefty, lets it go. Johnson tried to pull it in. Trigger got it. Another chance for the Pack, trailing by 1, and a foul called. Second on Mo Johnson. That's a 14 foul for the Cavaliers in the quarter. Hayes trying to save it. Kept her balance on that sideline. Got it back. Aggressive move. Spin it and score it.
Hayes has made big play after big play.
17 points for Hayes. 54 seconds to go. NC State by 1. Shot clock at 5. Clark driving. Clark travels.
Yeah, I'm excited for this replay because I didn't see it with my own eye. Gosh, I don't know if I see it there. The crowd next to me certainly did. That's why I actually couldn't see it because they were standing. They were calling for it. The officials called for it. Now NC State, an opportunity to extend this lead.
11th turnover of the half for Virginia on the travel by Clark. About an 8-second difference. Game and shot. James. Hayes. Got it back. Ball did not hit the rim. The shot clock still winding down for James on the drive and a whistle and foul.
And I think that's an error from the shot clock because I thought it hit the rim and a reset would have been huge in that scenario.
Kelly, I think the officials are talking about it. That's Hayes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there was no reset.
That's right. So shot goes up, absolutely tips off the rim. Shot clock does not reset.
The foul has been charged to number 8 against Moya. That's her fourth personal.
So the officials are just checking on that timing and that potential reset, which clearly from the replay you see that ball shot by Hayes hit the side of the rim and the hinge next to the backboard. So officials will take a look at it just to make sure. Now, Bruce Morris came over to the table, Kelly. What did he
said
tell
it was a time situation. They wanted to look at that. And I don't think they mean after the foul. I think they must be meaning with the shot clock. He actually did not say shot clock to me. All right, so you're watching the clock, shot clock next to it. So it looks like about 14.4 seconds.
But the foul occurs in the continuation of the play. Therein lies the dilemma.
Yeah.
Potentially. Katie Lukanich, Bruce Morris, Crystal Helenas are officials. Need to sort this out.
We have 2 shots for NC State. 8.9 is being put on the game clock.
Okay, so that's what we were assuming. You can't go back, right? I mean, they're in the
well, if you're NC State, you don't want to go back.
Yeah, you certainly don't. Exactly. Can't do anything about the shot clock scenario, but now they know 8.9 seconds on the game clock. Opportunity at the line. Nothing like icing a shooter.
Dominance at home is on the line, Kelly. Looking for their 16th straight home win. And to go to 11-0 at home and 4-0 in the conference on their home floor, K-Yao Court. It was so quiet, you could hear that rattle very loudly.
Let's do it again.
3-of-4 from the stripe of the game for James, 20 points. And more importantly for NC State, it's a 3-point lead. So James, for the 8th time this season, has gotten to 20 points or more, making those free throws for the 71-68 lead for NC State. As we take a look at today's player of the game, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, and motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
She had 24 points and 15 boards last game. Today, 21 points, 9 boards. She was everything for this UVA team. Hit 3 threes, got the rebounds when she needed to, went strong against bigger defenders. I mean, the 3, though, I think that was the best part of her game. She quieted this crowd with those 3s. Now, can her team get a win with a 3-point shot, or get the tie at least with the 3-point shot? She would be an option. Number 21 in blue is probably my go-to. Get her off a flare screen. I mean, we've seen her get shots off of just the ball screen as they switch. You got all shooters on the floor right now for UVA. Noyan also an outstanding 3-point shooter, with Clark and McGee as well.
8.9 on the game clock.
Switching on everything.
Clark. Her pass into the corner. It's off of Virginia. Now they can take a look at this.
Yeah, the replay already signaled by the official. They're going to go take a look at it. I'd like to, too.
Final 2 minutes of regulation and overtime. We can go to the monitor for possession. And that's Rivers reaching for it in front of Johnson.
It's important right now that the call on the floor is NC State ball, because that is going to be a hard one to overturn. Now, from my angle, I thought it went off of NC State. It should have been UVA ball. I am not even close to as near as those officials.
You must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call, which on the court is NC State basketball.
That's right.
This is a critical moment. NC State led by 2 at the end of the third quarter, Kelly, 54-52. Virginia had the 1-point lead at halftime. That's Rivers lunging for the basketball. It's just hold your breath.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, in 2 seconds on the clock. So even if it is UVA ball, you are running one quick hitter that you know UVA has been practicing all season long. These are the late game situations that you do every day in practice.
The verdict.
The previous call is overturned. It was touched last by NC State player number 22. The game clock will be put to 4.0 seconds.
Okay, so 2 more seconds on the clock. That's plenty of time for UVA now.
McGee, Johnson, and Lattimore have all made 3 3-pointers in the game.
And it looks like UVA just took a 30-second timeout now.
30-second timeout, Virginia.
So they've got a chance to discuss it. That's their final timeout. Exactly 4 seconds remaining in regulation. Right down to the wire. Home winning streak is on the line for NC State. Virginia trying to win here for the first time since 2018.
Virginia trying to pick up their first top 25 win, too. They have been so close. They were close against Duke, had that game in the bag, it seemed, and then couldn't execute in scenarios like this. So that's the question for Coach Mox and her team. Can you execute what was just drawn up in the huddle?
Final 4 seconds. Just barely beating the clock, and the pass is intercepted by Hayes, and a foul is called.
So the answer is no. Great defense by NC State to make that a difficult pass. They were looking for Johnson on the 3-point line. So there's Johnson trying to get that pass, defended well. How about Brooks on the ball? That was a great defensive situation. Then Hayes, wow, what a game.
They have none now.
Hayes has a double-double in this game. Adds a free throw. Second of the season, 8th of her career. Double-double for Madison Hayes. She's got 18 points. 19 points, 11 boards for Hayes, and that is going to do it. The clock runs out, and the winning streak is still alive at home. 16 in a row for NC State. The Pack wins it 73-68.
This game was as advertised. UVA put their heart and soul on the floor and didn't execute in the final seconds, and it cost them the game. NC State keeps their home winning streak alive, and that young lady, Madison Hayes, a fantastic finish to this game. It is appropriate. She comes up with the steal for the win and seals it at the free throw line.
Zaya James had 20 points, made 1 3-pointer in the game, and Madison Hayes had a double-double with 19 points and 11 boards. Zoe Brooks also the double figures with 14. There's more to come from Raleigh in the aftermath. The win by the Pack on the CW. We're back in Raleigh. 73-68, the final. NC State gets the win. The Wolfpack improved to 14-4. They're now 6-1 in conference play. They're 11-0 on their home floor. Madison Hayes, an enormous reason as to why NC State won this game. In the second half, 17 points, but so much emotion surrounding this game. And Madison, this one went right down to the wire. What was the difference for NC State today?
Just rebounding, making sure that we out-rebounded them. They're a great athletic team, so we just made sure, you know, we're not always going to hit shots every night, so we got to get down and get on defense and rebound.
It seemed like every big play that your team needed, you came up either with a stop or a bucket. What goes into making those kind of plays for you?
I think just playing hard and playing with confidence. You know, my teammates give me that confidence. Coach Moore gives me that confidence to do my best. And, you know, I didn't really have a good shooting night in the first half, but the second half I did great, I feel like. But, you know, my teammates helped me with that as well.
I'll tell you where you did do well was from that free throw line, 8 for 8, especially when it counted. But how important is it to keep this home streak win alive? I mean, you're at 16 now, 11 for this season in front of these fans. What's it like to be playing here?
I mean, it's just amazing. Like, these fans come out on a Sunday at 2 o'clock. It's really early, and I really appreciate everybody coming out and supporting us. I mean, they really made this game a difference for us. So I'm glad they could come out, and they should keep coming out to the next games.
Madison, congratulations.
Thank you.
A spectacular win against Virginia. 19 total points, 11 rebounds, double-double, and 17 points in the second half. Enjoy this one with your teammates. They were coming over. They were trying to tease you a little bit for doing the interview, but you deserve it today. Congratulations. Kelly, what a performance by NC State and head coach Wes Moore.
Yeah, it was incredible, and you're right. It was the defense. 14 offensive rebounds in a game that did not look like a lot of people were getting on the offensive boards, but at the end, they took it. 12 second chance points to just 2 for UVA. It was all about the boards, and NC State comes away with the win.
So here's what it looks like coming up for the Wolfpack. They will go on the road to the Dome and then host Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, and then a home game against Duke on February 3rd. And we are just getting started in the ACC schedule for women's basketball. What a game we had today. We should have known. The first quarter was just running up and down the court. That lasted the entire game, and it was close all the way. And in the end, the Pack wins it 73-68. For Kelly Deo and our entire crew, I'm Tom Worming. Thanks for watching. Tune in next weekend for another big CW Sports weekend, including Louisville at Virginia in women's hoops. We say so long from Raleigh, North Carolina. Wes Moore and the NC State Wolfpack have won 16 in a row at home. They beat Virginia 73-68 on the CW.